The entire cafe fell silent when the elegant woman in the expensive gray coat quietly lay down on the old couch beside a struggling single father who had accidentally fallen asleep after another exhausting day. Everyone assumed she had lost her mind. Some laughed. Others pulled out their phones to record. No one could have imagined that the woman was one of the richest billionaires in the city, or that she wasn't sleeping at all. She was watching. She was listening. And what she witnessed in the next few hours would change 2 lives forever. Before we continue, if you believe kindness still exists and that everyone deserves a second chance, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Heartline Stories. Your support helps us bring more inspiring true-to-heart stories. It was a bright spring morning when Rowan Hale woke before sunrise, just as he had every day for the past 5 years. His tiny apartment overlooked a noisy street, and although the place was worn and cramped, it was filled with warmth because of the 6-year-old daughter who called it home. Her name was Ivy, a cheerful little girl whose smile somehow erased the exhaustion from Rowan's face every morning. Ever since losing his wife to a sudden illness, Rowan had carried the impossible weight of being both father and mother while working 2 jobs just to keep food on the table. His mornings began with preparing breakfast, packing Ivy's lunch, helping her with homework, and walking her to school before rushing to his first job delivering supplies across town. By afternoon he cleaned office buildings, and when evening came he worked part-time stocking shelves at a neighborhood grocery store. Sleep had become a luxury he rarely enjoyed. Across the city, billionaire entrepreneur Celeste Ashcroft lived in a world that seemed perfect from the outside. She owned luxury hotels, technology companies, and charities that bore her name. Yet despite her fortune, she struggled with one painful question. She no longer knew whether the people around her were genuine or simply attracted to her wealth. Every handshake felt rehearsed. Every compliment sounded purchased. She missed seeing ordinary kindness without cameras or headlines attached to it. One afternoon Celeste left her office without security or assistance. Dressed in simple clothes that concealed her identity, she wandered through neighborhoods where no one recognized her. She wanted to remember what real life looked like beyond boardrooms and gala dinners. That was when she noticed Rowan. He had just finished unloading heavy boxes behind the grocery store. Completely drained, he sat on an old sofa placed outside for employees during breaks. Within seconds, fatigue overcame him. He drifted into a deep sleep, still wearing his work gloves. Celeste quietly sat nearby. A cold breeze swept through the alley. Without hesitation, Rowan, still half asleep, noticed the woman shivering. Barely opening his eyes, he removed his own worn jacket and gently placed it over her shoulders before falling asleep again. He had no idea who she was. He expected nothing in return. Celeste's heart stopped for a moment. Most wealthy people she met calculated every move they made. Yet this exhausted stranger, who clearly had almost nothing, instinctively gave away the only thing keeping him warm. She decided not to leave. Instead, she pretended to sleep beside him. For the next hour she observed everything. Employees passed by. Some mocked Rowan for always looking tired. Others complained that he worked too slowly. Yet every time someone needed help lifting a heavy box or covering a shift, Rowan agreed without complaint, even though his own body begged for rest. Then Ivy arrived after school. The little girl carefully approached her father, trying not to wake him. She quietly folded the jacket back over his shoulders and sat beside him reading a library book while waiting patiently. When Rowan finally woke up, his first words were not about work or money. They were about whether Ivy had eaten enough lunch and if she enjoyed school that day. Celeste felt tears forming in her eyes. This man wasn't poor because he lacked character. He was poor because life had demanded everything from him. Over the next several days, Celeste secretly followed Rowan's routine. She discovered he volunteered at a community kitchen every Sunday despite barely having enough for himself. She saw him repairing neighbors' broken furniture without charging them. She watched him encourage elderly residents carrying groceries, always smiling despite his own hardships. Not once did he complain. Not once did he ask anyone for sympathy. Celeste finally decided it was time to reveal herself. She invited Rowan to what he believed was a simple interview for a warehouse supervisor position. Nervous but hopeful, he arrived wearing his only suit, carefully repaired after years of use. When he entered the conference room, dozens of executives stood as Celeste walked in. Only then did Rowan realize the quiet woman from the couch was one of the most influential billionaires in the country. Embarrassed, he apologized for unknowingly treating her like an ordinary stranger. Celeste smiled. She explained that was exactly why she trusted him. She had spent years searching for someone whose kindness appeared naturally, even when no one important was watching. She offered Rowan something he never imagined possible. Not charity. Not pity. Opportunity. She appointed him director of one of her new community outreach foundations, designed to support struggling single parents with childcare, job training, housing assistance, and emergency food programs. She believed no one understood those challenges better than someone who had lived through them every day. At first Rowan refused. He insisted there were more qualified people. Celeste answered with words he would never forget. Degrees could teach management. Experience could teach strategy. But compassion could never be bought. Months passed. The foundation expanded faster than anyone expected because Rowan remembered every hardship he had faced. Instead of creating complicated programs, he listened to families. He hired people who genuinely cared. Every decision reflected the struggles he once endured. Thousands of parents found hope. Children received meals. Families found housing. Lives changed. One afternoon Rowan stood outside the new community center watching Ivy laugh with dozens of children playing safely together. Celeste joined him quietly. Neither spoke for several moments. They simply watched the joy surrounding them. The old couch where everything began had been placed inside the center's entrance as a reminder that extraordinary kindness often begins with ordinary people. It wasn't wealth that changed Rowan's life. It was the fact that someone finally noticed the goodness he had carried all along. And perhaps that was the greatest miracle of all. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video, share it with your friends and family, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Heartline Stories. Your support allows us to continue sharing stories that remind the world kindness is never wasted. Blue Heart special request, comment below with one word that describes this story: hope, kindness, faith, or your own heartfelt word. Sometimes the greatest blessing doesn't arrive wrapped in money or fame. Sometimes it comes quietly, disguised as a stranger who simply chooses to see the goodness that everyone else overlooked. And when kindness is finally recognized, it has the power to change not just one life, but countless others forever.